You probably saw the title and are thinking, Western Ohio interurban history, why are you making this video? It has nothing to do with Western Ohio interurban history or trains in general. Well, first of all, I don't really care that it doesn't have to do with trains. This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a while. That and part of this movie takes place in Ohio, so close enough. I have Ohio in my username, so we're doing it anyway. But why am I talking about Bolt? The answer is simple. If you've known me for a while, you've probably noticed that I like this film. The characters, plot, music, setting, everything. It's my all-time favorite animated film. If you haven't seen Bolt yet, turn off the video and go watch Bolt. It's on Disney+, or if you have the DVD lying around in your basement, you can use that too. Back on subject, I've noticed when I bring up Bolt to other people, they'll often say that they forgot Bolt existed, that Bolt's a forgettable movie, it's a decent movie, or sometimes it's even a bad movie. I can agree to a degree. Bolt isn't a groundbreaking movie or cultural icon. It didn't have a massive impact on society. People don't consider it a classic Disney film. The characters are good, not great, and the writing of this film isn't the best. There's even one instance of toilet humor in this film. This is not Disney's best film. As a result of this, Bolt is often described as a bad movie. Some people consider it Disney's worst film. This video is not meant to disprove other people's criticisms on Bolt's writing and characters. I'm not going to deny it. Bolt has issues. However, before I continue, there are two criticisms that I find unfair. One of these criticisms is that when Bolt dangles Mittens over the highway bridge, it makes Bolt look evil and look bad, and makes Bolt look like a villain. Yes, dangling someone over an overpass is obviously illegal, mean, and could kill someone. But if you were paying attention to the film, Bolt has been trained and conditioned to do that to bad guys in his TV show. Now why is Bolt dangling Mittens over a highway? Because he's trying to find Penny, his owner. Bolt, who is naive and has been told by pigeons, which helped him earlier, making the pigeons seem more trustworthy, they tell him that Mittens is the cat he's looking for, and Bolt thinks, oh, this cat's working for the Green-Eyed Man. If I get information out of her, she'll bring me to Penny. So, of course, Bolt's gonna do the thing he's been taught to do, and try to get information out of her by holding her over a bridge. Yeah, I know that's bad, but Bolt's doing it because he just wants to see his owner. He's not trying to be evil. This next criticism about Bolt is one I really don't like because it makes just as little sense as the last one, but it downplays how much effort was put into the movie. Some people will tell you that Bolt is a bad movie, it's bland, it's boring, because it doesn't have an art style. It's not stylized, it's not super cartoony. Yeah, that's kind of a point. The setting of the movie is the continental United States, the actual United States, not some cartoony one. So everything in the film looks real, nothing's exaggerated. So saying that Bolt is bad and doesn't have an art style because it's realistic, that's silly in my opinion. This is like looking at a Gil Reed painting and saying, oh, this painting is lame and bad because it's realistic and doesn't have an art style. I really don't like this way of thinking. It's not good at all. Things can be realistic and still be good. You're probably wondering why this video is called What Makes Bolt a Great Movie, and so far I've been negative. The reason is because I don't want to hide the flaws with the movie Bolt. If I hadn't mentioned them, I would have been dishonest and unfair. Bolt is nostalgic for me, for a number of reasons, but I don't want my nostalgia to blind me. You can love something, even if it isn't perfect. Now, to answer the question, what makes Bolt so great? Well, I want to ask you a question first. What do all great model railroads have in common? Scenery. Every good model railroad has scenery, and where Bolt excels is scenery. First, Bolt has many, many amazing shots. A large number of them are during the "There is no home like the one you've got" music number. Not to mention so many beautiful backgrounds, some of which, if you pay attention, are paintings. All of these are great portrayals of the United States. Some of my favorite shots from this movie are in the Ohio scenes. As someone who spent a large part of their childhood there, these shots capture rural Ohio perfectly, especially the gas station one. That one's probably my favorite shot in the entire film. That is a perfect representation of small-town America. Another thing that Bolt does incredibly well that I mentioned already is how realistic Bolt is. Bolt is a movie about crossing the United States. and the animators made sure that it actually felt like the characters were crossing the United States. When Bolt was in production, multiple animators crossed the country to get a good idea of what they needed the sets to look like. For example, you can see multiple real state signs, most notably the Ohio one, which is identical to the I-80 East Ohio sign in Ohio. This is spot-on accuracy, as to enter Ohio from New York City, you would have to use I-80 to enter Ohio. Real brands and companies also appear in Bolt, such as 7-Up, Coca-Cola, and Weber Grills. When Rhino is watching TV, audio from real TV shows such as The Price is Right, The Bold and the Beautiful, The A-Team, and Gilligan's Island can be heard. The Tonight Show is mentioned by Penny's agent as well. The Capitol Records building and the Figura Street tunnels appear in the Hollywood scenes. These are actual Hollywood landmarks. During the New York scenes, street signs showing actual New York street names can be seen, as well as an FDNY shirt. Multiple New York gift shops are also seen. The man that Bolt mistakes for the Green-Eyed Man can be seen reading a copy of the New Yorker magazine. A lot of these are hidden in the background, often appearing for seconds. Bolt's vehicle models are realistic too. Nearly every vehicle shown has a real-life counterpart. The most notable ones include the Green-Eyed Man's vehicles, which are Chrysler 300s and 2003 Cadillac Escalades. Other notable vehicles include the U-Haul truck, which is a 1994 Ford Ecoline, the house truck, which is a Freightliner FLD, the school bus, which is very lifelike, is a 1993 GMC CV200. The list goes on, but if you want to see more examples, check out the Internet Movie Car Database. The movie even has region-specific vehicles. During the New York scenes, you can see a New York Transit Authority RTS bus multiple times. It doesn't appear outside of New York City in the film. If you are a rail fan and have seen Bolt, you've probably been waiting for this next part. If you know me, you know exactly what I'm going to mention next. You're probably wondering how I got this far without mentioning it.
Now, we need to find a fast set of wheels.
Oh, I've got a better idea. Follow me. Tira, 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 tira.
In Bolt, the train that appears during the train scene is a CSX freight train. You may be thinking, this isn't a big deal. Real railroads and locomotives have appeared in animated films and TV before. While it is true, in almost every case the actual railroad name is missing to avoid copyright, or the locomotive and cars are modeled or drawn off, and you can somewhat tell what they're going for, usually with glaring and obvious inaccuracies. Even if a real train appears, it can be in the wrong paint scheme, in the wrong part of the country, in the wrong time period. There's many cases of animators just not caring about the train at all as well. However, in Bolt, this is not the case. The train is obviously a CSX SD70 Mac in the YN2 paint scheme. There is no argument or doubt about what it is. This is something you would see in the late 2000s in Ohio, which is the setting of the film. The freight cars themselves are mostly accurate. The consist is of TTX intermodal well cars and Pullman PS2 hoppers, which are all rolling stock you would see on freight trains in the 2000s. Unfortunately, some of the cars in the consist are out of era, those being the tank cars. The tank cars are based on 1950s era Union Tank Car Company tankers. These reused models are from the original draft of Bolt, which was called An American Dog, which was set in the 1950s. I honestly don't mind these tank cars being included, as these models had effort put into them, and not including them for the sake of accuracy would have been a waste. Still though, the casual observer will likely not think about the train. The locomotive is on screen for around 15 seconds in total, and the train's appearance and model isn't relevant to the plot of the film. Disney does not need to pander to rail fans. So why am I talking about this? Because this train shows that the animators did their research. It shows that they cared and put effort into this film. Research, detailing, and accuracy was put into these CGI models, which appear for only a few seconds, and that is worth respect and praise. Another factor that makes the train scene so good is the